stop Montuno Street.
My name is Joe Burgos. I'm the director of Canela Dance School, and we've been spreading the love of Latin culture, music, dance, history throughout the world.
That's why you will find me down on Montuno Street. The women are like dancing flames.
My Wall Street days, well, that covered a span of a decade since I graduated school. I did everything from trading stocks to opening IRAs to setting up 401ks to, IPOs and mergers and acquisitions. I pretty much did it all. What made me stop my career as a stockbroker was the fact that the events of 9/11 happened. I was thinking of even retiring in about 2 or 3 years from being a stockbroker, moving into something like an analyst position or buying a bar in Mexico and living in Mexico for the rest of my life. But what ended up happening was that because all my personal funds were also tied into the market, when 9/11 happened, it kind of wiped not only my business out, but it wiped out my personal finances out as well. So unfortunately, I had to contemplate what was going to happen with myself. Going back into finances was an option, but I knew how hard it was, and after a decade of being on Wall Street, it was kind of dire having to, it was a dire outlook having to go back and restart all over again. Dancing offered an opportunity, and 12 years later, here I am. I can't say that it's less stressful. I think it's the same degree of stress. I think it's a different kind of stress. Whereas before I was managing, millions, now I'm managing people's lives and entertainment. I think when it comes to my regular days, before I used to work 7 days a week, I'm still working 7 days a week. I used to work 25 hours a day, now I'm still working 25 hours a day. The pay is different. I've gone from six-figure salary to $6 a week. So, it's different. At the same time, it's very rewarding to see people go from zero to performing one day in a dance company. It's just ridiculously rewarding. To see people learn something for the very first time and see their expression in their faces, that in itself makes it worthwhile, and pushes, I think, any instructor to continue teaching classes and expanding their repertoire in classes. I owe it to, two main teachers. Jimmy Anton, who teaches still in New York City, and I would say Victor Charisma, who also teaches in New York City. Those are the two predominant teachers I've had. Then there's, mom and dad when it comes to the kitchen salsa style. But also, even, Eddie Torres, I guess, indirectly as well. I mean, to dance within a dance company, I guess, is what most dancers see themselves as reaching a specific goal. And that took me about 3 months. Yeah, the dance company was a entity that came about after our second year. And the reason why we started it was because there was a group of students that were the elite students at the time. We only had 3 levels at the time, and we wanted to take it to the next level. But we didn't have enough people to actually have classes, right? So what we decided to do was, okay, let's put together like a performance team, and we'll call it, the Piel Dance Company. And these were, I think, initially 6 couples, 12 people that wanted to perform at a higher level. So we began doing choreography, we began doing shows, we began doing gigs here and there to enhance the, their experience as dancers. Little by little, this dance company has become our business card. Now, after 10 more years, we were internationally renowned. We've performed in over 20 countries. We're constantly involved with bigger and larger projects. We've even done our own musical 3 times. It's grown into its own entity in itself, and I'm very proud of the people that have worked hard, not only people that are in it right now, but all the people that have been in it for the last 10 years that have opened the doors for the people that are currently members of the dance company right now. I see, we've done weddings, we've done shows, the amazement in people when they see us perform and they see us dance, that's humongously rewarding. So, whereas before it was all about me, and capturing wealth and making millions and sticking dollar bills in my ears or something like that. Now it's more about, sharing the love of dance, the Latin culture and the Latin music and language with everybody else, and making them aware of how much fun it is, and just spreading that around the world.
I've been with the company as part of the school for about 6 years now, a little over 6 years. And Joe is my dance partner. We have been to Japan, Italy, Paris, where else? Belgium, Brussels, Holland, Bahamas. I mean, we've been to quite a bit of our fair share of countries so far.
It's difficult going from having a six-figure salary down to nothing, to zero, living off your savings. And even when I started up the company, it was very little revenues. And as I started up as a for-profit business, but that meant nothing for the first 3 or 4 years because we were in the red anyway. For the school itself, I think it was hard just gaining people that were interested in taking classes from myself. At the time, 12 years ago, I didn't have a name. I was a dancer known by other dancers, but not a dancer known by the general public. Nor was a school known as a general public. So I remember starting our classes with 5 people that had read my advertisement that I had printed out on my personal printer and posted on different bus stops up and down Columbus Avenue, Amsterdam Avenue, and I think Central Park West or East or something like that. They were taken down in 2 days. I think the DOT wasn't happy about them, but they got me 5 students. And from those 5 students, now we have the largest Latin dance school in New York City. Because the children's classes came about when the parents would come and for their regular classes on the weekend, and the kids would just sit there. 1 or 2 kids would just sit there just watching. And of course, they were bored out of their minds after an hour and a half of watching adults dance. Some parents would tell me, I'd like to continue with my classes, but I can't because I have to get a babysitter in order to go ahead and take your classes. So the idea came about to start the children's classes at the same time as the beginners classes, so that instead of getting a babysitter, they could come with their children, and the kid would go into one room to learn his dancing, and the adult would go into another room. And then the funniest thing started happening, because as parents became aware that this was a pretty cool program, that they didn't have to pay a babysitter, and they were able to do something on their own for that maybe they haven't had a chance to before. What started happening was that the child would come out of their room, and the adult would come out of the room at the same time, and I would see them compare notes. And I would see the little, 4 or 5-year-old telling their parents that they're doing it wrong. They're doing a specific move wrong, and it's not done that way. And the parents going back and forth telling them, no, it is done this way. The chemistry between a child and a parent is amazing. And to see them share and engage in an experience that they're actually participating in together, it makes it a family affair. I'd like to see, within the next 3 to 5 years, I'd like to see the school have its own location, because currently we kind of sublease from someone else. With that amount of classes, 100 classes a week, and that amount of students, it's important for us to have our own location at this point. Then we can really do some interesting work, after school programs and, summer programs for kids and all that stuff. I think, further than that, I see the school having different locations within the city where we can actually continue to, promote the kind of dancing and the kind of cultural thing that we're doing in every one of the boroughs in New York City, and then engaging with the Board of Education of giving them the tools that they need to have Latin music in the schools and Latin dance in the schools as a program, or telling the kids to come enjoy it with us. So our work is not done. We're probably going to become the Latin Alvin Ailey, eventually. Alvin Ailey started very small, and now they have their own building, and hopefully within my lifetime we'll be able to see that as well.